Ink is one of those everyday things we rarely stop to think about. It's in our pens, our printers, our books, and even in the tattoos people wear on their skin. Yet this simple liquid has shaped civilization itself. Without ink, we wouldn't have literature as we know it, modern education, newspapers, or even the ability to print money. But have you ever asked yourself, how is ink actually made? What goes into that smooth liquid that flows onto paper and leaves words, images, and records that can last for centuries? The answer is a fascinating mix of chemistry, history, and art, and today, we're going to explore it here on History of Things. If we travel back thousands of years, we find that ink has been with us since the dawn of recorded history. Ancient Egypt and China were some of the earliest innovators. The Egyptians made ink using soot, lampblack, and plant-based dyes. They mixed carbon black from burnt wood or oil with water and gum arabic, a sticky sap that helped the pigment cling to papyrus. This simple but effective formula gave us some of the earliest written records in human history. Meanwhile, Chinese scholars created inks from ground minerals, charcoal, and animal-based glues. Their inks were often pressed into solid sticks, and writers would grind them with water before using them. What's incredible is that many of these early writings are still visible today, proving just how durable these first inks were. By the Middle Ages, ink had evolved further, becoming even more sophisticated. One of the most famous inks from this period was iron gall ink. It was made from oak galls, strange growths that formed when wasps laid their eggs inside oak trees. These galls were packed with tannic acid, and when mixed with iron salts and gum arabic, they created a deep blue-black ink that darkened over time. This was the ink used by medieval monks copying sacred manuscripts, by Leonardo da Vinci in his notebooks, and even by the authors of the U.S. Declaration of Independence. But it had one downside: it was so acidic that it could slowly damage the paper over time. This reminds us that making ink has always been about more than just color, it's about balancing permanence, flow, and chemical stability. Today's modern inks follow the same basic principles but with advanced science and precision. At their core, inks contain colorants, either dyes or pigments, carried by a liquid base. Dyes dissolve into the liquid, creating bright, transparent colors. Pigments, on the other hand, are tiny solid particles suspended in the liquid. They create more opaque and durable colors, which is why pigments are preferred for archival documents and books. Black ink is usually made with carbon black, while colored inks use pigments or synthetic dyes that produce vibrant reds, blues, greens, and yellows. For example, phthalocyanine is a popular chemical compound that produces brilliant blue and green pigments. The liquid base, known as the carrier, is just as important. Water-based inks use purified water with solvents to dissolve dyes or keep pigments suspended, while oil-based inks use linseed, soybean, or mineral oils. The choice of carrier affects drying time, gloss, and how well the ink sticks to the surface. Printer ink, for example, is designed to dry almost instantly and bond tightly to paper, while fountain pen ink focuses on smooth flow without smudging. Then there are additives, small but essential ingredients that fine-tune ink performance. Resins or polymers help the ink stick to surfaces. Surfactants lower surface tension so ink spreads evenly without blotches. Preservatives prevent bacteria from growing in the ink bottle. In ballpoint pens, lubricants are added to keep the tiny rolling ball moving smoothly. The manufacturing process starts with grinding pigments into ultrafine powders using machines like ball mills or sand mills. These powders are mixed into the carrier under high-speed agitation until the mixture is perfectly smooth. Additives are then blended in, and the final product is carefully tested for color consistency, viscosity, drying speed, and even smell before it's packaged into bottles, cartridges, and printing canisters. Not all inks are made for writing. Printing inks for newspapers are different from tattoo inks, which must stay vibrant under the skin for a lifetime. Industrial inks must withstand water, heat, and sunlight. And some cutting-edge inks are made for 3D printing or electronics, designed to conduct electricity or create micropatterns. So, the next time you click a pen, refill your printer, or admire a beautiful piece of art, remember, ink is more than just a liquid. It's a bridge across history, a tool of communication, and a symbol of human creativity. From soot and gum arabic in ancient Egypt to high-tech chemical formulas today, ink has been quietly shaping civilization for thousands of years. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history of ink, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves learning about the hidden stories behind everyday things.